It was nearly midnight when Daniel, a single father of 7-year-old Emily, heard soft sobs outside his worn-down rental home. At first, he thought it was the wind carrying strange sounds through the alley. But when he opened the door, he saw her, a young woman, knees pulled to her chest, tears streaking her face in the cold. "Are you all right?" Daniel asked gently. She flinched, embarrassed to be caught crying. Her clothes looked expensive once, but they were dirty now, her hands trembling. I don't have anywhere to go," she whispered. Daniel had every reason to turn her away. Money was tight, bills stacked high on the kitchen counter, and raising Emily alone already felt like climbing a mountain barefoot. But something in the girl's voice broke through his hesitation. "I've got a spare room," he said quietly. "It's not much, but it's warm." The girl's eyes widened in shock. She hesitated, then nodded, almost collapsing from exhaustion. Over the next few days, Daniel learned her name was Sarah. She never explained how she ended up on the streets, and he didn't push. She helped with dishes, read bedtime stories to Emily, and smiled for the first time in days. Emily adored her instantly. "Daddy," she whispered one night, "she feels like family." Still, Daniel noticed strange things. Sarah spoke with perfect etiquette, knew about business and world affairs, and carried herself with quiet grace. He couldn't shake the feeling there was more to her story. One evening, after tucking Emily into bed, Sarah finally confessed. "My father, he's the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the city." Her voice cracked. "We had a fight. He wanted me to take over the business, but I wanted to live life on my own terms. I walked out, and I didn't realize how cruel the world could be without money. I was too ashamed to go back." Daniel was stunned. The girl sleeping in his spare room, sharing spaghetti at his tiny dinner table, was the daughter of a man who owned skyscrapers. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked softly. "Because you're the first person who's been kind to me without expecting anything in return," Sarah said, tears filling her eyes again. "You reminded me that kindness still exists in this world." The days turned into weeks. Daniel worried she'd eventually return to her old life, and part of him dreaded the silence her absence would leave. But he never treated her differently, never once asked for money, favors, or connections. He just offered the one thing he had plenty of, humanity. Then, one morning, sleek black cars lined the street. A tall man in a tailored suit stepped out, Sarah's father. His eyes searched desperately until they landed on his daughter. "Sarah," he cried, rushing to her. She froze, then slowly stepped into his embrace. When the CEO turned to Daniel, his voice shook. "You took my daughter in when she had nothing, when she wouldn't even call me. I can never repay you for that." Daniel shook his head. "You don't owe me. She needed help. That's all that mattered." But the man insisted. Within days, Daniel found himself offered not just financial support, but something more, a new job with security, benefits for Emily, and a promise that Sarah would always remain part of their lives. The emotional climax came when Sarah, now reconciled with her father, knelt beside little Emily and whispered, "Your daddy saved me when I was lost. I'll never forget it. And I'll always be here for you both." For Daniel, it wasn't about money, prestige, or connections. It was about the simple truth that kindness, no matter how small, can change the course of someone's life. As Sarah's father drove away with her that night, Emily looked up at Daniel. "Daddy, do you think we'll see her again?" Daniel smiled softly. "Yes, sweetheart. Because people who find each other through kindness never really let go." And he was right. Because weeks later, Sarah returned. Not as a broken girl, but as a woman who understood the power of compassion. She became Emily's godmother, Daniel's closest friend, and a reminder that in a world obsessed with wealth, the richest treasures are found in acts of love. Sometimes the smallest kindness given to a stranger can open doors to the most unexpected and beautiful bonds.